Hello, everyone, and welcome to this tea time chat where my tea is too hot to to sip it. So we're just gonna talk for a little bit. I just wanted to have a little chat with you, and my original reason for going online or on video rather was because I wanted to share with you an experience that I had at the Kom Ombo temple in Egypt. So I will talk a little bit about that, and it's really not an experience about a specific temple, and it's definitely not something that you should be expecting to experience should you ever go there. But I really wanted to share the story of my experience, and it happened to be in one of the places because as I was walking through the park today, I just kept remembering that experience as if it happened today. And it was very beautiful. I wanted to share it because it was about the inner child, the higher self, this lifetime that we are in, the times when we want to look away from this lifetime, and how beautiful it is on the other side once it is done. So I felt inspired to share. So, as you can see, I'm sitting on the floor. I just wanted to make myself very comfortable. I think from now on, I would just record from the floor because honestly, just being here on my couch is too comfortable. And we can all agree the lighting is terrible. It's been really, really dark and cloudy, and that's fine. You can always listen without the video. And I want to say I appreciate so much those of you, and you know who you are, who are leaving comments every time you watch something, who are subscribing to this little channel. It helps so much to know that somebody is watching, and it can make a difference even for one person. So your comments mean a lot to me. And if you ever want to let me know if there's anything else you would like to hear, please just let me know. And thank you so much for your support. Before I tell you about this temple, and I will probably make the cover for this video an image of the temple from the entrance so you can see how it looks like. I won't be taking time to insert the pictures here because I'm not really yet really good at creating videos. I do my best, but I'm very far from it. But before then, I wanted to tell you about the transmission that I had this morning. And I have had energy transmissions, Kundalini activations with energy clearing for a while. And for a while there, particularly last year, I was doing them almost every single week, every single Tuesday, almost. And there was a group of people, and people were coming on and off, and it was a work day. So it was really brilliant that that people were coming. It's when I could do them. And I stopped them for a while because I went through some major energy recalibrations and I needed to stop to take care of myself. And I hope you are all stopping everything that you are doing if you are able to take care of yourselves every once in a while because it's so important. So I had to stop for a while, and now that it's been a little while that I took time off from this, it feels like a blink of an eye, but it's been really a few months. And after having taken a whole month to go to Egypt and Romania, which I would never do, I would never take a whole month away from work, from clients, from New York, because right now I live in New York. So I don't really feel called to spend large amounts of time at once outside of the city because I really feel that my place and my role is to be here right now. But now that I took such a long time and I came back, I am just finding so much more and more clarity on where everything is moving forward for me, and everything is moving forward towards the new earth. I'll make a separate video about the new earth because I know there is a lot of confusion around the timelines, around what the new Earth is, about how it will happen. And quite honestly, nobody knows the truth. But I would like to share my perspective because after many sessions and after taking a lot of time to understand and sort through these sessions and some of the information myself, I have some thoughts that I would like to share with you. So comment below and let me know if you'd like to hear. But part of this new earth, I would say direction, it's like a thread going through everything that I do. So I will speak more about it moving forward. And part of it, I am doing my energy transmissions and activations focused on the new earth. So I will place the link below. And if you feel like you ever want to join, I would love to have you there. So let me tell you now about my experience at the Temple of Dark and Light in Kom Ombo in Egypt. And once again, this is not at all what you should or can be expecting should you visit. It's really just a story that I would like to tell you. And perhaps it can inspire something in you because I really felt that I needed to share. So I will do my best to make the cover of this video an image of the temple, but essentially to explain it in however way I can the best without having images inserted here right now. When you go to this temple and you look at it from the entrance, essentially you see two sets of columns. I'm putting down this microphone. I hope the sound still works. But from the entrance, you essentially see two paths. So you see two sets of arches from the entrance, one to the left, one to the right. So what you do in this temple, you enter on the right side, which is the path of the dark. And then you go through all of the chakras, starting at the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, solar, sacral, root. And then you circle back and you come through the temples of light and you go through all the chakras in reverse and you start going through the root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and crown, and then you go out. So you do this circuit, and from the gate, you can see there are two paths. There is a circle, there is a path of columns, and there is an arch, a column, a gate for each of the chakras. And at the very end, there's a little, it's not really so little, there is a black stone for the root. Then you walk and you go back, starting with the root. So as I went to this temple and I started walking, I did not know what to expect. So this is very important that if you ever go there or if you ever watch this video because you're planning to go there, do not expect to have the same experience. The point of this video is not to share about a temple. The point of this video was just to share a few insights that I had that, to be honest, were a lot more clear when I was on my earlier walk between my transmission and this video. Everything came to me with so much clarity. So I just hope I'm able to convey it a little bit for you. So as I started going and walking this path through the dark first, and I went through the crown, through the third eye, throat chakra, and I stopped at all these gates for a little while. As I was going gate by gate, all this shadow came up. All the thoughts that I had picked up, some of them were mine, some of them were just memories and flashes of things that I was told or something that happened. And for every single chakra, all these fears, all this shadow came up. And it wasn't a fearful experience. It was just an awareness of the fears, of the limiting beliefs, of the memories that were stuck. essentially, as I was walking through this, I was walking through my inner child. And for every single one of the chakras, everything just came up and up and up. So I went through all of the gates. I went through the sacral one, which is around your belly button, a little bit lower. And then I stepped through that one and I started going, and I couldn't see in front of me where the root was. So what ended up happening, I found myself stopping in the middle between the two. There was a straight line that was merging the light and the dark, a straight line, and there was a wall. So I walked on that line and I was looking at the wall and I was facing that wall. And I realized as I was facing the wall that I had just come from my inner child and I went through all the trauma, all the limiting beliefs, all the shadow. I couldn't find my point of safety. I couldn't find the root. I couldn't find my way in this lifetime somehow. So I ended up in the middle, in between, facing this outside wall and having all these downloads that who knows where they were from, coming into this lifetime. But all these downloads of thoughts that I don't typically have, why did you send me here? Why do I have to stay here? I'm so tired. I'm so very tired. Why did I have to come here? I don't want to be here. And all these thoughts were coming. Now, this, in all these experiences and the way that I experienced this was because my primary senses are the clairsentience and claircognizance. So let me know if you'd like me to talk more about the senses and particularly about these two, because essentially I have these senses as the predominant ones and they're very strong for me. So I thought my whole life that I was overly sensitive and I was making things up and I was imagining things that did not exist. And I never knew that this is the way that I connect to higher consciousness, to higher guidance, to my soul, essentially. So, because of this, the way that everything showed up for me, it was not visions, it was really not any sort of imagery. It was just feeling and just knowing, and all these downloads of thoughts, and everything was peaceful. I did not feel particularly upset about anything. But when I couldn't find the root, I just ended up facing that wall. And I was facing the wall and I was thinking the whole time, I'm so tired. Why did you send me here? Why did you have to send me here? Now, I don't have any conscious memories of specifically having these type of questions. I've had my own struggles. I've had my own need for clarity around many things, but not these specific thoughts. And as I was sitting there, I felt that I made a choice, that my soul made a choice at some point. I don't know when. And I turned back around towards what I felt was really the path of my inner child. And I turned back around from the wall and I looked back and I saw the root. It was a black stone. You couldn't miss it, but I couldn't see it. I went all around it and I looked away from this lifetime. And I truly felt that I looked away from this lifetime. I felt that I got out of myself and I looked away and I couldn't care to be here because I was too tired. And it's not really something that you can explain with your conscious mind. So I made a choice. I made a choice to go back. And I went back to the part that I missed. I went back through to the root. I went back there and I stayed there for a while. And then I walked the line and I walked the path and I started going on the circuit, the path of the light. And as soon as I got there, I stopped in front of the root now. I was going the other way around from the root all the way up to the crown. I was at the root and my higher self kicked in. And there was so much love, and I felt so much warmth, and I felt like golden light was activating and filling me up, and it filled up the root, and I kept going, and it filled up the sacral, it filled up the solar plexus, and as I kept going through these gates, and it really filled me up with reassurance of how I already know, how I have everything within me that I need, how I have to speak my truth, how it's safe to keep my heart open, how I already see everything more clearly than I could ever be explained by anyone outside of myself. And all these beautiful messages kept pouring in. And now, on this other side of the light, I really felt my higher self filling me up and filling me up all the way to the top. And when I was at the crown chakra, I felt that I got completely filled up with all this love and reassurance, but with all this knowing and remembering and feeling more like myself than I ever did, and bursting with light. And at some point, all this light and electricity I felt was spreading all around me, and I became this powerful sun, and I was just radiating light and light and light. And at the very end, also, two hands came, and I felt and I knew that there were two hands that placed a crown on my head. So as I walked away from this, I really hope the sound is okay because I'm using an external microphone that I usually use for sessions. But I walked away, I finished the circuit, and then I went completely outside, and from the gate, from the entrance, there was no gate. From the entrance, I actually looked back at the entire temple. I felt that I had to get out, completely out, and from the entrance, look back, and I could see the path of the dark, and I could see the path of the light. And it was so obvious how I went through my inner child, through every single struggle, through all the traumas, through all the fears, how they were moving through me, how they just happen in life. We just pick them up. How I had a choice at the end, facing the wall. I had a choice. I didn't have to come into this lifetime, but I did. And then the moment when I turned around and I looked towards this lifetime the way that it was, and I decided to come back to the root and come back in my body and really be rooted into this lifetime and own in my bones, in my DNA, the fact that I want to be here. Because every time I used to have a hard time, no matter how hard it was, I always felt that I chose to be here, and I would choose to be here any number of times if this is where I was needed and this is what my soul wanted to do. So, from that perspective, I never felt that someone sent me. But through that choice of going through this experience, I chose yet again to be here, to be in the body. And as I chose myself, and as I chose this body, and as I chose to be in this lifetime, my higher self kicked in, and then it kept filling me up and up and up and up. And I guess this is the journey that we are here. This is the journey that we are doing. We go through all these challenges. And how many moments do we have when we feel that we want to walk away, when we are looking away from this lifetime and we are denying who we are, and we are denying ourselves even for a moment? We are denying that this is a chosen path and we have everything inside of ourselves, and we have so much guidance around us to support us in this lifetime. And how beautiful then when we really commit to being here, being right now, being in this body, even if it's hard, even if we are tired, then everything comes, everything comes. So when I was back at the entrance and I was looking at all of this, and I was seeing it all from a different perspective, how my inner child walked in and my higher self walked out, and that experience at the end where a crown or something was placed on my head and there was the initiation. That experience was really a confirmation of fully embodying the higher self in this lifetime. But as I looked back from out there, I just felt so much tenderness because I felt that this is the path that we have in this lifetime and in any other lifetime where we struggle and we have challenges and there's darkness and there's fear and there's indecision, and sometimes we don't love ourselves, we're not committed to ourselves, but then we find a way, and we find something starts shifting and we find our way, and sometimes it feels like it never ends, but then all the journey through the darkness and back to the light, to our true essence of who we really are, that will have been a blink of an eye. This journey where we are in right now, when we feel sometimes that it's hard and it's a struggle and it's heavy, will have been a blink of an eye. And when we are on the other side of it, on the other side of this lifetime, we will have been so proud of ourselves. And I felt it. This life will be a blink of an eye. And I really felt it in all my bones, in all my cells. And I will look back even at the times when I was hard on myself or when it was hard, especially at those times. And I will be so proud of myself, of everything that I have done, even when I was disappointed in myself. So let's just skip that part because this will have been such a short experience. And particularly for all the harder times, for all the opportunities to learn, we will feel so grateful at the end of this lifetime. So you see, this is why this is not a video about a temple. It's not even a video about me. It's just a little story because just that feeling that I had at the end, just that feeling and having felt the journey inside of me going through those steps, and that awareness that this whole thing will have been a blink of an eye and I will be so proud of myself in every single way. So I might as well just give it all and give my best and show up the best that I can because it will be so short. Just for that, I thought I wanted to share with others too and see how you feel because through everything that I do, I share hypnosis sessions and story from those sessions. And I don't share enough because I don't have the equipment necessary. I don't have the time. But in everything that I do, I never claim that that is the truth because I truly believe there is no truth that applies to everyone. We all get to decide what our truth is, and then we align with that truth and we find others who feel the same. And we learn how to be able to live with others who don't feel the same as long as we respect and we honor each other, and we can just live our lives without getting in each other's way. That is the new earth. That is the new earth where the power is really not in that forceful very masculine way of being. It's really in the gentleness of and the softness of being so radically accepting of yourself where you are, then you have no choice but to accept others, and just moving through life with the softness and the gentleness for ourselves and others. That is the way of the new earth. And that is what today came also in the session. Today was the new moon, the full moon. I kept saying new moon, but it was the full moon, and typically in the full moon, a lot of energy is shifting. And typically, when you go to certain events, there's a lot of music, and the music could be a little bit stronger, and we feel that we have to shake things up in order to get things out of us. But that is such an old paradigm in a way, that there has to be so much effort, and there has to be a feedback of something significant and strong happening from outside, or something strong happening inside. But the truth is that the peace that we are looking for, and the new earth, and the freedom and the ease that we are all hoping for when we think about new earth, does not have to come in that way. It can be subtle and gentle and soft. So today's transmission was just that way. The music creates itself at this point. For the most part, I play music, and it just wouldn't budge. It just was what it wanted to be, and it was gentle and it was soft. And that's what we are moving towards. So I think as we all navigate through this life, whether we are in a moment of light and connection with a higher self or darkness, can we be softer with ourselves? Can we be kinder? Can we be more compassionate for our journey? And can we somehow remember that we choose to be here every moment? And can we remember that there will be a day when all this will be done? And I mean it in the most beautiful way. And when it is done, from the other side of it, as we look back at this lifetime, how will we feel? Would we choose differently today, tomorrow? Would we want to show up more because we felt that we played small? Would we wish to speak up for ourselves, to speak differently, to at least be more honest to who we really are? Will we wish we were kinder? I think for me, at least, I think I would expect that I would be as much honest as I can with myself. And I express myself the best way that I can, and in the most authentic way that I can when it comes to others. And obviously, this is a lifelong process. But this is probably a pretty long video by now, to the point that I think even my tea seems cold. If you made it this far, I'm so grateful, because I'm grateful that there are those of you who listen. I'm grateful if there is even one soul there that resonates. I am just grateful that you're here. And I will try to post more from my sessions, and I will do my best to organize even more events. So hope to see you there if it feels like a good fit for you, if you want to try. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you.